what I would recommend is that you start with a dinner. You start with a 6-person dinner. Everyone watching this has 6 people they could invite to a restaurant near them in their city, and that you could decide everyone pays for their own meal, or I'm going to cover the check because of what I think this could turn into. And what you do is you invite more than 6 people, because not everybody will be able to make it. You invite people of the same cloth, people who have something in common. They don't have to do exactly the same thing. It actually is nice when people are kind of a little mixed up a little bit, but they have the same ideals and the same direction. And maybe it's for entrepreneurs who, maybe you're an entrepreneur and you put on this dinner for 6 entrepreneurs and you say, I want to have some of the brightest minds in the room, and I want us to spend a couple of hours together eating great food, having wonderful conversation. There'll be a little bit of a theme to it, so we'll talk about it. And then this beautiful thing happens when everyone gets there, especially if they don't know each other already. You have each person introduce themselves. Give them enough time. Give them 2-3 minutes to introduce themselves. And as they're introducing themselves, there's this camaraderie that starts to take place. And there's sort of an instant interest that's happening. So they introduce themselves, you introduce yourself, you say why you want people to be in the room. And then you spend the rest of the evening having conversation. Maybe you talk about a specific theme or some challenges that everyone's going through, but you really just have the people, you have the salon. You know, a salon comes from 17th century France, where it's about education or entertainment, right? You want pleasure or education or both, right? You want to just be able to casually talk to each other. Then what happens is that after that dinner, at least half of the people who attended reach out to you and thank you for the dinner. People stay in touch with each other. Things start to percolate. It's very small at first, but it's meaningful. And over time, especially if you can be patient, over time, that turns into something big. Deals are made, friendships are forged, and you had everything to do with that. And that is how you start to build your network. So especially if you think about, hey, can I put this on myself? Can I put this on the budget, like a line item for my company, where you're not asking for anything, you're not selling anything, you're not trying to get anything in return. What you're doing is just simply getting the ball rolling, lighting a spark that will turn into something over time. Now, take that same scenario and imagine you do it every single month. Imagine you do it in more than one city. Imagine you do it and it's 10 people or it's 15 people. It really starts to turn into something very, very special. You become known as this person who can curate a dinner, who can put certain people in a room. Over time, what also happens is that more and more aspirational people start to reach out and say, can they come to it? Or you might say, okay, I've done this a few times. Let me reach out to someone who would just blow people's minds if they walked into this room. You reach out to them, say, can I tempt you to come to this event? We're having a very intimate salon, a very intimate dinner. I would like for you to be the guest of honor, and just say a few words. And there's no pressure. You can say for as little as or as long as you want, but I'd love to have you there. If you do this request enough, people will say yes. And then you'll become known more and more and more as a connector. And then over time, what you can get more specific. This may happen before a big launch that you have. It may happen when you're fundraising. It may happen when you're about to reach a major milestone. It may happen when you're trying to hire the best and the brightest, and you have this network now who you can really just in the room tap them for their knowledge. You could stop halfway through the dinner, 15 people in the room, and say, I'm looking for a VP of sales. They have to be magnificent. Who do you all have? People start talking to each other, start pinging you, giving you information, and you have more than you need. That all can stem from a 6-person dinner down at the Red Lobster or wherever you want it to be. And it doesn't have to be fancy. It can be at your home. It can be casual. It can be a barbecue. I know a lot of people who do like barbecues. They're kind of known for, they have these barbecues and they get bigger and bigger each year. You can do that. It can be something that's a potluck. It can just be at, your favorite, just hang, your favorite bar, your favorite restaurant. So I would do that.